Hey guys, it's your divine soul god mommy, and I'm coming back to you today with a good new series that we're starting. So this new series is gonna be called Attachment is an Illusion, and then we're gonna, insert what the illusions are, or like I'll insert what my opinions are. And I'm really excited because I'll even be finishing these videos off with like some questions so that you guys can definitely comment with your input as well, to either like big up what you think that I'm saying or like oppose, like, because I was like, that's not part of my face. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy, and we're gonna jump right in. So the first subcategory is, are you attached to titles? I'm gonna read it off of the book because I wrote it really well, and I shouldn't just like redirect myself, right? So first off, we are all spiritually connected. So race is just a subject definition to identify by. Race can be thought of as specifying a plant as a flower, right? The gender is specifying the said flower, which is made up to classify, which is why some refer to themselves other than a typical male or female. I gotta put the quotes because this is what we as a society register ourselves as. But it's like tribes out here who, I don't know what they call themselves, and you don't know what they call themselves, but they don't have to call themselves male and female. They have other names for that. Respectfully. There's no right or wrong. It's literally an opinion. Like literally. We're just a societal opinion, or we just respect the societal opinion, right? A name like the one on your birth certificate is really a nickname. Think of it as someone picking a flower, which is the person who birthed you, adopting you, and going, I'm gonna call you this, that, and the third. You get what I'm saying? So like, how people like pick a dog or a cat or just an animal and be like, this animal is gonna be named this, that, and the third. Like, that's your opinion, because granted, if you don't have the animal anymore, somebody else is gonna come along, and if they don't like that name, they're gonna do that. And people do the same thing when they adopt children and stuff like that. And we do that with our family members. Like, if you have a cousin named this, that, and the third, if you have a cousin named this, that, and the third, and then they have, they your favorite cousin, you might call them Fave or something. I've seen that before. You might call them Fave. Like, that's your opinion. That's their name. That's how you categorize them. It depending on how often you use the word, that you call them, or the name that you call them. Other people might start identifying them with that as well. But that's only their opinion based off of your opinion. So you following? Hope you're following. So here's some things that we could think about. Think about why they say Jane or John Doe when one cannot be identified, right? That's like the government just enforcing the male-female opinion, basically, or like identification, basically. But it's still just a title, because you know what I'm saying? Like, this Jane or John Doe had a name, like, but the government can't get a hold of what the name is, so they'll say Jane or John Doe just to continue to comply with the male, female. Right? Okay, and then the second thing to think about is, think about when people are adopted and their names are changed. Oh, look, like I actually gave that one, but I'll still read it. Just as a dog or any other animal being taken in and then trained to learn their names. We are programmed as babies to respond to our family's nickname. So, like I said, family nickname, if it's literally what's written on your birth certificate, and you know, like, we all go through this training process of being called this, that, and the third until we realize, I respond to that. That's me. Or the family doing that, or calling you some other type of nickname, and you know, maybe you didn't realize your name was this, that, and the third until you was 5 because you was called Love Bug, and that's all you responded to. Like, you know, just something simple like that. So, are you attached to titles? Did I enhance your thoughts on anything? What's your ideas on what I'm saying right now? Definitely drop it in the comments. So yeah, that was subtopic 1. So now we're gonna get into subtopic 2, and it's your skin tone doesn't define your past. Let me say that one more time, because I feel like that might have went over people's heads. Your skin tone, the color of your skin, if it's brown or pale or orange or red, it doesn't define your past. Like, your past lives, it doesn't. What do I mean? We signed many contracts before I was sold into the bodies we're in. This is also my opinion. So if you have a different opinion, definitely feel free to drop it in the comments. But please spark my mind, okay? The different contracts determines where you will live, amongst what kinds of people you'll live around, your skin tone, how attractive or unattractive you will actually be, and how easy or hard things will be for you in life. We sign these contracts. So, when you accomplish your task, so this is something to think about. I like that neck rolling part. Ooh, my neck, yes. Okay. Okay, guys, I'm really having a lot of fun here. When you accomplish your task you signed up for, you are blessed to bring with you into the next lifetimes. That's why, you know how sometimes people be like, oh, they got an old soul, like, from young, like, that means that in a past lifetime, they balanced peace, you know, and serenity. So they came back into this lifetime like, you're not gonna mess that up. Like, even as a child, like a baby, I'm gonna work on other tasks. That's cool. I'm cool. Nothing's messing with my juju. I'm fine. Thank you very much. How hard or easy your mission has been will determine which gifts stand out the most as you live. So, if you was rich in one life, and then you come back poor in the next life, it's probably because you've already accomplished being rich and living out however you experience being rich. And now you want to experience being poor, less fortunate, to see how's life like for you. What kind of things can you ground and stabilize and take with you? Like, what kind of lessons are you going to get out of that, you know? Or even if you was rich one life and then you rich another life, it's still going to be certain lessons, because it's going to be like, okay, like connections. Maybe you was trying to, maybe you're trying to see how you get genuine connections, or how you get unstable connections and things like that. Like, this is a thing. So that's why certain gifts will stand out, because if you have to come out on a more humble tip, you'll probably if you have to come out on a more humble tip, you'll probably come into the world in a humbling position. Whatever that may be. But that'll determine how easy or difficult your mission might actually be, right? Plus other people's free will. So don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that if just things is negative happening to people that they just deserve it, but in some way they did sign up for it. It's just a matter of free will and the people that they are amongst and stuff like that will enhance basically them embracing what it is they need to embrace and leaving behind what it is they need to leave behind. Because even as we live, we have to go through our lessons to enhance ourselves and expand ourselves, and we never stop expanding, right? So the more you endure positive and negative, the more you are able to indulge in your true self, which is absolutely right. But within this realm, you face free will, which determines how much worse or better your life will go on. So I basically got into that already, but just saying your free will is saying if you are around narcissistic people, it'll come a time when you'll be like, okay, I'm gonna be a narcissist, or I'm gonna get the crap out of here because flip the frog, okay? Flip the frog. And if you decide you're gonna, either way, as you expand and enhance, if you decide, I'm gonna be a little bit more narcissistic within myself and stuff like that, you might, just because you're expanding and you're taking yourself to another level, you might be able to unlock certain instances and habits that you were able to implement in your past life, in this life, and start using that even more, because either way, nothing stays the same. So wherever you move forward in, or that could just take you far back away from what your abilities are, because if you decide to be negative, you could slow down certain abilities that you have within yourself to enhance this positivity and be your true self. Because if you're being negative 9 times out of 10, no matter how powerful you are, you're being sneaky about it. You feel me? And if you're being sneaky, you can't really be your true self because you being sneaky. Come on. It's just that simple. So that's that, right? And now we're gonna get to tree. Color doesn't matter. So back to the, being brown, being lighter skin, pale, orange, red, darker brown. Don't confuse yourself and think that anyone with the same skin tone is your people, right? You could have been a rich Asian woman. Oh yeah, not just people, but gender. Oh, can we get an amen? I'm leaving this. I'm leaving here. Let me see. There we go. Yeah. So regardless if you were a male or a female, regardless if you were a male or a female, you could have been a rich, whatever other gender of a totally other ethnicity in your past life to get that experience. Why? Because different cultures experience different experiences and we get different abilities. Why do you think it's brown toned people who could sing really well of a different culture, in the tone and everything? Because they probably was that culture in a past life and they brought on that ability. But because they were successful then, they decided to come back and have some type of challenge so that they could embrace themselves and bring on new abilities. And why they didn't just get born, why they weren't just born doing these things, is probably later on in life that they was just like, oh wow, I could do this, or they've been doing it really well and they don't show it off until later on in life because they don't feel like they could be their true selves. So That's sneaky. So that's another thing. Don't think of the sneaky thing as, or sneaky gesture as, just me like being negative, like about somebody, or just it being a negative thing, like, oh, they're being sneaky, so they're being terrible. It could be like they're sneaking their true selves behind the world's back, so they can't get the acknowledgement for how amazing they actually are, right? So yeah, you could be any other gender or race in one lifetime and come back as an I'm gonna just read what I wrote because I was really specific. You could have been a rich Asian woman in one lifetime and come back as an orphaned white child, and then next. The only way to determine how or who people are is by doing your shadow work and uncovering your truth. So, yeah, like if you embrace who you are, then you can embrace what your abilities are and enhance them and uncover even more abilities and stuff like that. And be able to understand who exactly you were in a past life. So granted, because we have these lifetimes, when you look back at your ancestral line, like, yeah, you could do that and let somebody else do that for you, but you just doing word to mouth, and that's not truly you. So I'm not gonna sit here and say that is all inaccurate because I don't know, but a route that you could go, that you could be really, really in tune, is by doing your shadow work with yourself and really getting to know yourself, your best features and your worst features and stuff like that. And then doing like past life regressions and stuff like that with yourself so that you could know like who you were and what you've done. Because 9 times out of 10, like you're not the same race as you was in another lifetime. And so that means that your people is not your people. They just the people that you got identified with. And honestly, we're all each other's people. We're all one. We're all spiritually connected. And this is not just people. It's actually a very limiting mindset that you have if you just try to categorize yourself with human beings, because we're not the most superior of all of all beings. We're all spiritually connected and we all have abilities to do things. We just are able to, in this realm at least, which means on this universe, because there's so many other galaxies and who knows what they're doing. Like, well, we can know. And, you know, stay on my page because I'll definitely do a reading in the future, in the near future, to see who are you in another galaxy. Like, you know, what is your soul doing in another galaxy, or who were you in another galaxy? That would be really, really cool to find that out. So if that sounds like, yo, this is crazy. So if that sounds like something that will be entertaining and something that you'll be interested in, definitely leave a comment so that I can get to it and do that for us, because I'm definitely with all that, right? So 2 things to think about. I'm not picking, I just see things. So 2 things to think about. 1, if you are African American or brown toned, black is not a color. We're not black. I'm sorry. Like, I mean, black is a color, but we're brown. Cause I'm a brown person. But, you know, and I can identify with this whole African American because it's how our society directs things. But black is a color, and it's not the same as brown. Like, we just gonna have to respect that. It's on my page. We gonna respect that. Okay. Wow. I was like, okay. So what I wrote is, if you are African American or brown, Thurgood Marshall and Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King Jr. doesn't have to be your people. It could be one of the lighter or paler skinned people who were hiding individuals in that time. Because that's one thing that people don't talk about. It was actually pale people hiding brown people back then. So all it is direct racism and prejudice is not cool, because you don't know, especially if you didn't do your shadow work. How you gonna look at somebody else and determine for them? You don't even go for your gut feeling or gut instinct. If I called you out, then this is not to hurt you. This is to help you. This is to enhance you and expand your mind so that you can be a better you. If this is triggering you to think about somebody else, definitely pass this forward to them. This is from a loving perspective. This is not from a hating perspective, because we all granted, we all spiritually connected and stuff like that, but we all on different mind levels and stuff like that. And if you thinking like this, I promise you, how you feel is really not the most important for me to try to sway. This is not a swaying message. Nothing on my page is about swaying, first of all. It's all about empowerment and expansion and us being our best selves. And we can't be our best selves until we are our best with ourselves. Okay? Flip the frog, period. This whole thing might come down. We'll see. We'll see if I finish before that. But I'm what I say, this whole thing might come down. Alright, so I'm gonna just sit back. Okay? Because I'm not worried about that. And if you know me from my my Facebook page, this is not the first time something like this happened. Yeah. So something we could think about, regardless if you are one of those people that say my people or not, we all have been around people who said my people type, right? Think about if these individuals are so attached to my people and stuff like that, that's like browner tones and stuff like that, or just even paler tones that's saying like my people, if they were actually like slave owners or just like doing the fuckery in the past, and they feel bad but they're not doing their shadow work, so they're just trying to like connect to it so much, like they just trying to cling on to what they feel, to claim like this or that, or you know, wouldn't that make a lot of sense? Like, I think that would make a lot of sense, but that's just you know, that's one thing to think about. The second thing to think about is, if you or someone else you know is ranting about a specific time where there will be more of a specific race of humans, like not of the other animals and beings that's extinct and going extinct, not about the water levels that's rising and all of us as beings, spiritual beings on this planet being washed away, you know, you might, or they might be racist, you know, or really prejudiced, because humans is not the all, be all, know all, or just all of life. Like, it takes all. Literally millions of species among us, and they should all be honored, like all be honored. So I really influence everybody to go enjoy life and go live life and appreciate things and do your shadow work and get to know yourself and get to know other people and appreciate everything and just learn, and don't take anything to heart, because it's all a cosmic dream. It's all, reality is anything that you turn it into, and it should be good. That's what it's becoming. It's becoming better and better, because we believe more and more by the second, by these days. So, if the things that I've been thinking about has expanded your mind, drop a thumbs up inside the comments. It's your girl Marissa Bklyn, and that was me, and that was our attachment is illusion race.